Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm actually live. I know this week has been a bit messy with runs and reruns and all that kind of thing. Oh, hello. My laptop has decided it wants to play audio again, even though I told it not to. That's nice of it. I'm just trying to find a tweet that I put out. Where is it? Maybe I didn't tweet it. I thought I'd tweeted something out saying there were no videos on the YouTube channel this week. I've just realised sitting here in silence reading probably isn't the most exciting thing to do. Yeah, this week has been difficult. I haven't had much of a chance to talk about it in in more than 280 characters. So I'm going to do my best to explain it just now. And then we'll start the stream. So basically, last Saturday just gone, I suddenly looked at the calendar and realised what the day was. The 22nd of July is the anniversary of my YouTube channel. I thought I'd started in 2012. I'm sure I was making videos just after the Olympics, but apparently not. 2013 is when I started, according to YouTube, which makes it 5 years, which is actually quite a nice round number. Let me switch over to the game, actually, and I'll get the game audio back up. There we go. Yeah, 2013 is the year I started, and because it's 5 years, I wanted to do a big celebration, and I always had it in my head because a lot of my series at the moment are callbacks to old series on the channel. So, for example, Global Ventures, my Planet Coaster series, is actually based very, very heavily on a series I did on Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 about 3 years ago, something like that. Hang on a second, let me just type this message. Because I've got people asking me lots of questions. So yeah, I wanted to do celebrations. Planet Coaster was based heavily on Somerset Hills International Resort, which is a series I ran on Rollercoaster Tycoon 3 about 3 years ago, like I was saying. What's the other one? Cities in Motion 2, the series I'm doing now. There's a lot of it that are callbacks to my original Cities in Motion 2. My building style has changed, but my philosophy is still very much the same. And, you know, things like OpenTTD, I've spent ages trying to get OpenTTD working, and then I did get it working, ran a series for 255 episodes, I think it ran for in the end, or 238, it was something like that. And then that one sort of died and went away a little bit. It might come back, though. Stay tuned for that. And finally, Football Manager. Like, all the Football Manager things I do now on my channel, with the exception of the Journeyman, which is new for this year, but everything else is based on series that I did way back when I would take a team from the bottom division to the top using a team of relative unknowns or kids, or you know, working with a tight budget, that kind of thing. So I wanted to do a celebration of that, and at the same time I wanted to do the celebration, I kept getting messages from Twitch about how they have this new Premiere feature where you can upload videos and schedule them, and then they run on your channel like a live stream almost, and you can sit in the chat and talk to people whilst the video is playing. So I thought, why not bring those things together and actually have videos on my Twitch stream playing whilst reminiscing about the old days. And if people have any questions, because there's a lot of people that are still new to the channel, they might not know that these old series existed, so it's a good way of getting them to see what the channel used to be like, also to see where some of my ideas now have come from back in the past, and just have a good time, really. Celebrate 5 years. It's not quite gone as expected, though. The chat itself has been relatively quiet. It's mostly been good friends of mine that have been talking, so it's a little bit of a disappointment there. The biggest disappointment, though, has been on the technical side. And it's not so much that I didn't think it would be difficult on the technical side, it's more the fact that every single time there's been a problem, I've been away from my PC, so I've not been able to fix it. And it's mostly been things like streams aren't playing when they're supposed to. The Premiere fails, I don't get a notification of that. I just check the stream like half an hour after it's supposed to have started, and it's not playing, and then I have to go through this really long, elongated process on my phone of logging into Twitch to go on the dashboard to find out why it's not playing. So it's been a bit disappointing, and that's actually one of the things that happened tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say. There was a Space Engineers stream that was supposed to play, and I had them all lined up so that the last stream would end 5 minutes before this stream started, so it would be a seamless transition. Because on Sunday, there were times where a stream would end, and because I could only schedule them in half-hour increments, so on the hour or half past the hour, a stream would end at like 5 minutes past, and then there'll be 25 minutes of nothing, and then the next stream would start. And I can understand why people might drop out when that's the case, if they don't necessarily know that another stream's coming, because there's nothing on Twitch that tells you until it's started. So it's been difficult. The other tricky thing is my own fault. Back when I was a young YouTuber and not really understanding what I was supposed to do, I used to save all my videos in WMV format, which is not conventional. It's a format, you know, it's perfectly fine, and YouTube accepted it, but Twitch doesn't. Twitch accepts only 4 formats. MP4 is one of them. I can't remember what the others are off the top of my head. But what it meant was I had to convert all of my old videos from WMV to MP4, which basically means opening up my editing software, importing the video, and then re-rendering it in the new format. That's also not very easy. It sounds simple, and it is simple in theory, but for it to work, say for example one of my original OpenTTD videos, one might be 45 minutes long. I import it into the editing software. It has to build new audio files because the old ones are no longer compatible, and this is why I couldn't just load up the old file on my old editing software and re-render it there as an MP4, because all the audio files and video files have all been moved into archive folders, and it's actually quicker just to re-render. Well, it's quicker to import the video into the new editing software than it is to search through folders for every single one. It's a more seamless process to just import it into tell you what, before I explain more, we're going to drive an HST. I'm going to do the tutorial. I'm going to try and talk. Did I mean to do that? Probably didn't mean to click that. I'm going to try and talk and drive at the same time, which might not be easy, but I understand people don't want to see just a menu screen. I am live. I am live. This is live. That's the other thing. Twitch doesn't really distinguish. There's a little bar that appears at the top that says Premiere something something. But besides that, there's not really much indication that it's actually a video playing and not you know, an actual stream. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I would load a 45-minute OpenTTD video into my new editing software. I say new, I've had it for 3 years now, I think. And then re-render it. But the re-rendering process is treated like a render. And to render a video normally on my PC takes about 3 times the length of the video. I think someone's going to start talking in a second.
This is the Class 43 high-speed train in Great Western Railway livery. Great work on being accepted as a driver for GWR. Today you're going to learn how to take control of this iconic train, get it moving, and then bring it to a stop.
This game is outstanding, by the way.
The locomotive. Enter through the cab door in front of you.
I mean, my PC's not really doing it justice. I know you haven't. I've been checking. All night I've been checking. So yeah, a 45-minute video would take 3 times 45 minutes to render. And if I try and render 2 videos at the same time, on average they take longer because the PC is having to split the processing power between 2 files and 2 processes rather than just 1. So my current process is to pick the videos that I want to show on stream, import all of them into the editing software, and then create a cluster and then render that. And that's what I've been doing for today's streams and some of yesterday's. It was sort of the back half of yesterday where I came up with that idea. There's someone in my seat. Excuse me, sir. So yeah, it's been troublesome and it takes a long time. Some of the longest streams, like the Space Engineers ones, were MP4s. If I'd have imported them, one of them is an 11-hour stream and it would take 33 hours to render. That's why sometimes a stream hasn't been ready and I've had to use a filler. So today, for example, the Space Engineers one didn't play, so I queued up, I think it was a Football Manager one again that I was going to play yesterday, but it wasn't ready in time, so I moved it to today. There's been other things that have happened, and one of the consequences of that, and this is the message that Josh sent me actually, which I'm sure I sent out a tweet about it, but he can't find it and I can't find it, which is a little bit worrying. But one of the drawbacks to doing this celebration, particularly as I didn't plan it until very late in the day, is my PC's basically spent the last 4 days rendering videos solidly. So as soon as one lot finishes, I set up the next lot. I've had to do a restart before this stream to make sure that the game runs smoothly, which, as you can see so far, fingers crossed, touch wood, it is. Hello, Kurt. You joined me in the middle of an explanation. But what it has meant, because when I'm rendering videos, I can't really play any games. Sometimes I have Football Manager running, but trust me, it's like watching a slideshow. It's really, really slow. And it probably doesn't help the processing time actually having Football Manager on, but sometimes I need to relax and unwind. So overall, it has made video making impossible. So for the whole of this week, if you go on my website as well and check the calendar, there are no videos scheduled for this week. And that kind of, people who are asking me about it, kind of proves that you haven't subscribed to the calendar. I'm not going to pick bones on that though, it's not for everyone, I admit that. Yeah, Kurt, this was the... Can I not jump? I thought I could jump on this game. This was the game I was telling you about. Hello, Ben. Look how lovely this HST looks in the new GWR livery. We're going to get to hear what it sounds like in a second. So yeah, basically, too long didn't listen. No videos this week because my PC is otherwise engaged. Enjoy the streams. There are lots of videos that I forgot I made.
And when you're ready, have a seat in the driver's chair.
There's a lot of streams that I forgot I hosted as well. Oh, you're joking. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Why is it not showing the game? Hang on a second. That's not supposed to happen. Maybe it's that one? Yeah, I'm in the game. Oh, see what I mean? It's all bloody technical problems. Why is it not showing? I can't even get it up at all now. Don't take that out of context. Screen freezes in update 1. That's from last year. And there's something from May. It doesn't look like anyone else has had this problem. But then not everyone is a video maker. I had it working. I tested it before I started the stream. That's what's most frustrating. Let me turn it off and on again. I might have to quit the game. So maybe I can explain it for a little bit longer now whilst we're sitting here waiting. Like I said, it's been a really frustrating week. The most frustrating one was Sunday, because Sunday was Cities in Motion 2 day, and it was supposed to kickstart this huge thing. And actually, the week has gotten progressively worse because Sunday didn't start off very well. And it is all to do with time management. And it's not like I planned the time badly. It's just that the PC sometimes takes way longer than it should to do a simple task, which means overall things get delayed. So Cities in Motion 2 on Sunday, episode 100 of that was a 3-hour long video. And I knew it was a 3-hour long video. It wasn't like it was a secret. I knew it was. And I had to... Actually, I think that one was an MP4, which was good. And I uploaded it. The other problem with big video files is Twitch takes about 3 times as long as YouTube. There you go, you can see what I'm doing now. It takes about 3 times as long as YouTube to... Oops. I know what I did, I just clicked on something I shouldn't have clicked on. Alright, doesn't look like it's done anything bad. So yeah, the video ended up taking 3 hours, plus 3 hours, plus 3 hours, plus 3 hours to upload. Like I opened it in the morning, uploaded it in the morning, and it was still uploading 12 hours later. And then it processed for another 4 hours, and then it played. But it was so delayed, I kind of did. Once it had uploaded, it started processing. I managed to upload another video, have it process and scheduled to play to fill the time that episode 100 should have been playing in. There you go. Maybe the game needed a restart, or maybe I wasn't capturing, because it had 2 windows for some reason. Maybe I wasn't capturing the right one. Oh, you can't see what I can see. You watch, this is where it freezes again. I know. Keep me updated though, guys. Very much appreciated. Keep me updated if it's not working. Now hopefully you get to see the beautiful train. There we go.
The Class 43 high-speed train in Great Western Railway livery. Great work on being accepted as a driver for GWR. Today you're going to learn how to take control of this iconic train, get it moving and then bring it to a stop. Start by climbing aboard the locomotive. Enter through the cab door in front of you.
Alright, so there were some streams from Monday that also had to be postponed. So I ended up running old streams that I basically ended up just uploading a load of videos I knew were already in a MP4 format. But even then, uploading and processing took so long that a couple of them were delayed. Yesterday was Football Manager Day, wasn't it? And that one actually worked okay. But there were drawbacks in that I couldn't render certain videos in time for today, so today was supposed to be something different. It ended up being FIFA, Space Engineers and Minecraft, except the Space Engineers stream didn't work, so I had to put a Football Manager video in. Oh, the guy that was here isn't here anymore. Creepy.
First, you need to get the engine up and running. Start by unlocking the reverser using the master key.
Okay, somewhere. There it is. Master key.
Set the reverser handle into the neutral position.
That's that one?
That alarm is the AWS self-test system. You will need to acknowledge this before continuing. Press the AWS reset button.
Yeah, can you just... Oh, that's an annoying noise.
Best part, hearing the engine revs build and starting to feel the power this powerful locomotive holds. When you're ready, hit the engine start button on the desk there.
Alright, here we go. Class 43, engine roar. It used to have a Paxman Valenta engine, I think it was, and it's now got an MTU engine, so it's not as loud and as powerful as it used to be. Well, the engine's powerful, but the sound isn't as nice.
Things start to get a little more complicated from here, but we'll take it step by step. Set the headlights to day headlamp and markers.
Okay, day headlamp and markers.
Put the train in forward, so we're ready to get moving. Using the reverser again, set the handle into forward.
Forward. Gotta wait for the brakes to charge. That's over here on the brake pipe gauge. I think that's the one. And that's how much the brakes are on. It's brake pressure gauge. No, that's... Yeah, that's the brake pressure gauge. It takes a long time for them to charge, doesn't it? Please don't tell me the game is got bugs and glitches in. For crying out loud. Oh wow, that wouldn't be possible in real life. Alright, so you guys can see what I can see by the looks of things, which is good news. Pretty sure something should have happened by now. Like, nothing seems to be... Oh no, there we go.
Now apply some power and get this train moving. Ease the throttle handle into notch 1.
This was made on the Unreal Engine, this game. I do find it funny that a railway simulator was made on a game engine. Gotta reach 10 miles an hour. Oh, it won't let me throttle up. That's really annoying. Oh, cog whistle. I thought you were already following.
Maintain our current speed. Set the throttle handle back to idle.
There's a couple of times now where I thought someone was already following.
Great, and showing real confidence. All you need to do now is bring the train to a gradual stop. Set the train brake handle to initial to apply a small amount of braking force and let the brakes do the rest.
Right, so you're the brake. Initial. Here we go. Slowly, slowly. Catchy monkey. I mean, this game is available on PS4 and Xbox One now as well.
You're ready to head out there on your own now. If you remember everything I've shown you here, you will do just fine.
I do love this game, the way it works. So, she just said there, you know everything now, you can go out and drive this train for real. She hasn't taught me about braking distances, she hasn't taught me about what to do if the oil pressure drops or if the brake pressure fails. She hasn't taught me where the emergency stop is, she hasn't taught me how to cancel the AWS whilst running. Yeah, there's so much. So much. But we're going to go dive in at the deep end and try and run an HST between Paddington and Reading. So we're going to go services, class 43, continue, and continue again. So I suppose we can run this one. Don't worry, we don't go as far as Bristol. The route only goes as far as, in fact it shows you here, the route only goes as far as Reading. This is the junction just to the west of Reading. So all of these are just the train designations. So I would prefer to leave Paddington to start with, because if I do fail on braking I won't go through the buffers. I think that's smart. Obviously that's what they do in real life as well. They always get the newbies to drive away from London and not towards, just in case. But from what I've read and from what I've seen, this game fixes every single problem that I have with Train Simulator. Okay. So, is the master key... Whoa! Alright, we are unlocked. You are now in neutral. For some reason I don't need to cancel that. I think we're ready to go. Looks like we're ready to go. Put you in forward. Still don't need to cancel the AWS. Release the brake. Oh, I don't know what the second horn button is. I also don't know where the horn is. That's the other thing. She didn't teach me how to do the horn. It's terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. Where is the horn? Josh, do you know how to drive in it? Oh, there it is. That'll do. So it's 50, I think, 40 or 50 coming out of Paddington. Let's throttle up a little bit. Alright, I can use the keyboard. Good, good. I assume it's a clear road out of here. It says green light, so... let me know if the stream has any lagginess or anything like that. It should run smooth. Should be in the keyword there. I'm going to idle the power just to go through here because we don't know what colour the next light is yet. Alright, it's green. I mean, I doubt that there are that many train movements at 6 AM at Paddington. A couple of trains arriving. There's one arriving. Alright, we'll idle the power again until we can go a little bit faster. One thing I should do, actually, let me just pause for a second. Can you still see what I'm doing? Yes. I'm going to turn the game volume up a little bit. There we go. Try that. I felt like it was a bit quiet. Alright, so we've got London Underground on the left hand side, Circle and Hammersmith and City lines. I don't think there's any trains. We are right on 40 miles an hour. So we've got a 50 mile an hour limit coming up. And then it goes up to 100. There we go, we've gone up to 50. You can hear the engines revving up. I mean, as you know, I'm a steam fan, but there is something about a diesel engine powering up that sounds amazing. I just want to check very quickly what the brakes are. Okay. Brake controls are the same as well. Good, good. Just checking that because we've just gone over the top of a hill. We're starting to go down the hill, and I don't really want to crash. So yeah, this game fixes a lot of the problems and issues that I had with Train Simulator. The AI is a lot smarter now, so you can actually have it couple up to consists that you've placed in different locations around the map, and it knows where those consists are, whereas Train Simulator doesn't have that feature, which means if you watched my stream last week and you saw the train crash into, into the carriages in the platform, that's why, because the AI isn't smart enough to know how to deal with that. So the route finding is a lot better. The AI is just so much smarter in every single way. The graphics are better, obviously. The routes are more detailed. The engine's better. The game doesn't crash. It does do weird things on OBS, but that's OBS, I think, not the game. So yeah, fingers crossed, this turns into a good game. They are talking about introducing multiplayer in the future as well. How that's going to work, I do not know. It could work really well, it could work really badly. They are also talking about bringing in route customization. When that happens, I will actually transfer Somerset Hills Railway from Train Simulator to Train Sim World, providing they do bring Steam. That's another limitation, I think, at the moment, is they've only made diesel and electric trains. They haven't made anything Steam related. So I'm not sure if they're ever going to make Steam trains, to be honest. Because I think they'd have done it by now if they could. Particularly as they've modelled the West Somerset Railway, which is the heritage line, and yet it's all diesel run in the game. They haven't made any steam locomotives. So that'd be a little bit disappointing. I'll still play the game. It's still, you know, it's nice just to sit and watch. That's something else you can do in this game that you can't in Train Simulator, is you can actually just, you can walk around the world, for example, so you can leave the train like we did in the tutorial, and you can just pick a location on a hillside, providing you can get to it, and just stand and watch the train go by. The other cool thing is, not so much in this mode, but there is another mode where on this route I've seen it where you start at Paddington and there are a series of trains that are about to leave on their respective journeys, and you can pick one and drive it, or you can get on board as a passenger, or you can ride in the cab as an observer. You actually get to see the AI drive the train, and it's kind of, I mean, that's a better tutorial in many ways than being told what this button does and what this button does. You actually get to see the AI drive the train, so you can learn where the braking locations are, where the speed limit changes are, all that kind of thing, which I think is a very nice addition, because one of my personal favourite things to do is sit and watch things work. You know, in Minecraft I like to sit back and watch my builds working autonomously. Cities in Motion, I like jumping on board a vehicle and just following it around and seeing how well it does. OpenTTD, I like doing the same thing. So I like a lot of features about this game. I just wish they brought Steam in, and I wish they brought multiplayer in, and I wish they brought route customization in. Once they bring those three things in, this game is going to be amazing. It's so smooth as well. Graphically it's not brilliant, but I think that's because my PC is struggling somewhat. So it's not looking as nice as I have seen it on other people's videos. But it's a good looking game still. And I can actually, I mean, the train's running. I can leave my seat right now and go for a little wander. Can't open the door because the train's in motion. Can't go through there. I can sit in the second man's seat if I wanted to. On the networkers, the other train type on here, I think you can just get out while the train's moving and go sit in the passenger seat for a little bit. I mean, you'd never get away with that in real life. People would freak. This is the map view. So coming up here, I think it is. This is the junction. I think it's this one. That's the junction that goes to Heathrow Airport. So there's Paddington. That's where we started. That's Old Oak Common Depot. And then right over here is Reading, which is our destination. Just want to check that we haven't crashed into anything. We should get a good old run on this. Good old high speed. What do you guys think? Also, big welcome to Jamie UK, Cova303, V&K, Virgo Pros. Apologies if I've mispronounced any of those names. Big welcome to the stream. Don't forget to hit the follow button. You can also cheer some bits if you would like to. And stay tuned after the stream as well, because you get to join in the 5-year celebrations of my YouTube channel. Josh, you missed the massive explanation I did at the start. I went through a whole explanation about why there's no videos and when videos will be returning. Oh, hello. We seem to have gone onto a different type of track by the sounds of it. It's not rumbling as much. Can I open the windows open? I can't imagine they do. Oh, we'll put the cab light on. Yeah, I can't imagine train windows open on HSTs, considering how fast these trains go. I really should be watching where I'm going, but There's so much cool stuff here. There's quite a few switches. Yeah, the engine room light. I don't know why you'd need that on, because you can't open the door to go into the engine room unless that... No, that's not it. That is the door. They didn't teach me about the brake testing sequence either. Dear. Welcome to the stream anyway, Josh. We're driving nice and fast. Your favourite. I think one of these... Oh, hello. Got a little bit of whiplash there. There we go. This is like a flyby camera, so you can get to see the train in all its glory, chugging along. There's another one at this angle as well. This is the free camera. So... Oh, I think this is... Oh yeah, this is Airport Junction. So this is where the line to Heathrow diverges. Just fly through here. We'll get a nice flyby. How many coaches is my train? Tell you what. I'm going to come down here. And you can count them for me as the train shoots past. Sound good? Is there a station nearby? Let's go stand on one of the platforms. This looks like a station. We're out of earshot of the train now as well, which is awesome. Oh wow, there's collision on solid objects now as well. So we're going to stand here. Here it comes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which is the standard for an HST on a GWR, I believe. 8 carriages, loco at either end, 10 coach train. Which is why the new 800s and 802s are also 5. And actually, I mean, they're 9 as well, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, the 5 is so that when they operate in multiple, it makes a 10 carriage train. Right, 21 miles away from Reading. So we stop at Reading at 6:58, which is 16 minutes from now. 8 on my Xbox One is 6 for some reason. I know 8 and 7 is the norm. Maybe it's for graphical limitations. Maybe 8 coaches is too many. Sounds a bit odd that they would do that though. Of all the things to change to limit the game, that would be the weirdest by far. Let's get some throttle going. We're going to slow things down quite a bit after this run, so brace yourselves. You can also see here, at the time they made this route, electrification hadn't reached Reading. It has now, in the real world. But what that does mean is you end up with all these masts and no wires hanging off them, which is quite interesting to see. I like this view though, look at that. You can go right down alongside the train. You can look inside if you want to, see all the commuters. The level of detail, like even if you come down here to the, look at the the wheels. Ignore the wheels, that's the anti-aliasing. That's a known bug. You can see the suspension rocking and moving as the train goes along. Come over here, you can see all the little detail on the nose cone here where the gravel was kicked up off the track and messed up the paintwork. There was an update this week. And again, I don't quite understand how they're marketing this, because they put out... I got an email, I think it was last week, and it was doing a daily countdown to the major release of Train Sim World. But it's been out for each route as it's been released. The ones before it have all been available at the same time. So the game's been available for about a year now, from CSX onwards. So I'm not quite sure what that is. Maybe sales have been a bit disappointing, so they're billing it as this new version of the game to try and make sales pick up a little bit. It's one of these things. They've put a lot of care and attention into this game. It's been a lot of years in the making, but it's such a niche market. A lot of the services with the 166 were only 3 coaches. I hope some are now 6 coaches. Well, a lot of the 166s aren't operating out of Paddington anymore. They've all been moved down to Bristol. Oh, I'm speeding. There we go. So the new trains that run out of Paddington are the 387s, I think they are. Yeah, 387s, which are the latest and the last Electra Stars to be built. They're the same trains that operate out of King's Cross now on Great Northern services. So they run between Paddington, Hayes and Harlington, Maidenhead, Reading. Eventually they'll extend out to Didcot as well. And they also run to Heathrow, because Heathrow Express doesn't exist anymore. Heathrow Connect has been taken over by TfL Rail, operating as Crossrail. So the Elizabeth line serves Heathrow terminals 1 and 3, I think it is. Was it 2 that was shut? Or no, it was 1 that was shut, wasn't it? So it's terminals 2 and 3, and 4 and 5. They're all served by Crossrail, and then Heathrow Express is now part of GWR, and they operate it using the 387s. We got wires again here as well, by the way, where the electrification work's taking place. They operate in place of Heathrow Express services between Paddington, terminals 2 and 3, and 5, I think is the stopping pattern there. And they run direct between the 2. And they are 4 carriages. Oh, no, they have now. I'm talking about in the game. They have been to Heathrow. I'm sure they have. I read about it. The other thing, GWR have actually ordered some... They call it tri-mode, but it really isn't. So for those who aren't in the know, this is uni mode. In other words, mono mode. Are you Googling, Josh? You know I don't like Googling. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, these are uni mode. So this train is diesel only, and so are the 166s. The 387s are electric only. But they are... At the moment, they only operate on overhead wires. But they can... All modern electrical multiple units in the UK are designed to work under the wires and on third rail. So even if they haven't got the shoe or the pantograph, they can easily be converted if necessary. But then there are trains that are dual voltage, like the 319s, which is what I'm about to talk about. Bi-mode is trains that can operate using diesel power or electricity. So the 800s and the 802s are bi-mode. So they have diesel engines. I think it's on 5 carriage units. The diesel engines are on the... Hang on. I think it's the 2nd, 3rd and 4th carriage. They're not under the control cars. And then the 9 car units, they're under the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th and 8th cars. They have diesel engines, but they also draw power from the overhead wires where there are wires. And they're more powerful when they operate from electricity. But these new trains, they're going to be running between Reading, Oxford and Gatwick Airport. They've been described as tri-mode, but they're not really, because they have a diesel engine, and then they can also use overhead electrification and third rail electrification. But that, to me, is still electrification, because you don't call... they're Class 319s that have been converted. They've had diesel engines mounted under the floor of some of the cars, so they can run on diesel power as well. But dual voltage trains are not known as bi-mode, so I don't think a dual voltage train with a diesel engine should be a tri-mode. To me, that's still a bi-mode, but they're being marketed as tri-mode, so supposedly that's what we have to call them now. I don't agree with it personally. I'm sure, because it was I get my railway magazine at the start of every month, and I'm sure it was 3 or 4 months ago they reported on GWR taking over Heathrow Express, and I'm sure they said it was within the next month, so that would imply that they are working it now. Let me check. Ah, from next month. From August 2018, the service will be operated by Great Western Railway under a management contract. Okay, Josh. You win that argument. I'll happily concede that point. So yeah, there aren't 333s. Or are there? Hang on. Again, it's confusing. Oh, hello. Let me start braking. Yellow light coming up. We're 6 miles away from Reading. It's a really quick journey, isn't it? London to Reading. You wouldn't think it, but it is. Why has the AWS not gone off, though? That's the big question. Maybe it's not activated in normal play. I know the actually it is the 333s, isn't it? That are the hang on, no, it's the 332s that are the express units. The 333s are the ones that operate with Northern. They are related though, and I think it's making me look things up again. Heathrow Connect 360s. Heathrow Connect use 360s. Heathrow Express use 332s. This is so nerdy. I was about to say I hope we're going to stop in time, and then I see that we're doing 40 miles an hour. That train is, depending on what station we just passed, it's either going up to Marlow or it's going up to Great Malvern, I think it's the other junction. Throttle up a little bit. I'm hoping the light turns green before we get to it, but it's not looking likely. Oh, there you go. It's just turned yellow. So we can accelerate a little bit. Possibly. Unless there's a setting for it that I just didn't switch on. Oh god. These are all the markers. That's controls. Excuse me, Celsius, thank you very much. Imperial, that's fine. Button prompts. Yeah, no, maybe it is isolated. I know that the Great Western Railway operates on a slightly different, I think is it TWS rather than AWS? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Aha! The first HST we've actually passed, and it's at a really low speed. I was hoping to do a 150 mile an hour closing speed, fly along the side of the train and go, oh my god, we're going to crash, and then duck in at the last moment. Yeah, okay. I won't do that. Not got the chance to now, anyway. I hope we have a bit of time at the end of this where I can actually jump out of the train and explore Reading Station a little bit. Because I've never been to Reading. The GWR is one of my favourite main lines in the UK, and I've never ridden on the train on it before. I've never been to Paddington Station. I've been up to the underground part of it, but never got off the train. It's weird. I've been to Euston, I've been to Waterloo, I've been to Victoria, King's Cross, obviously, St Pancras. I've never been to Charing Cross, never been to Fenchurch Street. Only just went to Liverpool Street year just gone. Never been to Paddington. Brighton Main Line. Yeah, I've been on the Brighton Main Line a fair few times. I don't get the thrill. It's the most boring line I've ever seen. It's all just straight lines and tunnels. Which is what I build in Train Simulator. That's how I know it's boring. There's nothing exciting. There's one sort of nice looking viaduct down near Gatwick. And that's about it. And you have to go through Croydon. I actually don't know what speed I should be going at here. Because I'm assuming this signal is a single yellow. And I feel like I'm coming in way too slow. I've got 5 minutes to do 3 miles and I'm doing less than 60 miles an hour. There you go, green light. Alright, let's go for it. So there must have been a train in front that's now left to head down towards Bristol. Which means we can accelerate. If the signal is not green, ignore your timetable. Safety is paramount. That's, yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's my instinct anyway. I'm just worried about getting a good score. I just felt like I was crawling. I do that when I'm driving sometimes as well, like I'll zone out. I'll be on a dual carriageway, speed limit 70, and I'll zone out for a minute and realise I'm only doing 50. It's kind of felt like that there. I felt like I was going too slow, even on yellows. The speed limit here is 95 for a reason, so I feel like I should be doing close to 95. Maybe 75 at this point, because we are slowing down. We're a mile and a half approximately away from Reading now. And I know the junctions, which I can't see the speed limit for. If it's green, you must be keen. Sure. Let's go with that. Yellow light again. 60 mile an hour limit, so I will start braking. Speed limit is a guide, not a target. Exactly. Exactly. It is a guide, not a target. But there is such thing as driving too slow as well. If you drive too slow, you can get done for dangerous driving. So the line joining us from the left is the Waterloo to Reading line. It goes past famous stations like Staines, and where it branches off to Windsor at Staines. Oh, hang on. Maybe that wasn't it. Oh yeah, no, it is coming up below us now. Should I be slowing down? Yes, I should. There's a 50 mile an hour limit coming up. Mark's not paying attention as usual. And a red light at the end of the platform. So we just got to ease her in. Those are the Waterloo platforms on the left hand side. I don't actually know what platform we're coming in on, but providing I stop correctly here, it looks like we're going to come in pretty much on time. Now what you can see on the track there, they actually brought this in a later patch. It's a stopping guide, so you can actually look at where to stop the train ideally. You want to try and get the leading carriage in the furthest forward green marker. I feel like I'm not going to stop now. Oh crap. Yeah. So that happened. I knew an idiot who claimed that you add on the new speed limit to the speed you were currently doing. I think he was joking, but he wasn't the brightest bulb in the... I'd love to know who you're talking about, Tom. Certainly wasn't me. We'll call that success. Technically I spadded, went through a red light. But the tutorial didn't teach me about braking distances. That's my excuse. So we're going to switch route now. We're going to slow things right down. I do drive. I do drive, correct. I'm glad you know that. Considering you're my brother and all. Oh, it's really hot today. Really hot in my room as well. And I can't turn on the air conditioning because it sounds like a hurricane. Like, you know, If you ever wear headphones with a microphone attached and you blow wind in your face and you can hear the wind going through the microphone and into the headphones, that's what it's like having my aircon on. Train Simulator fans, you're about to hear a very familiar voice as well. Any second now.
This is a Class 47 diesel-electric locomotive in British Rail green livery. This tutorial will go through the start and stop procedure. Climb aboard to get going. Enter the cab through the door indicated.
Possibly, Josh. I won't make any promises. Right, there is a way of doing this. Open the cab door, then use the steps. Ha. Climb up steps. There we go. Okay, so before I...
Sit in the driver's seat.
Alright, Matt. Before I get in the seat, I want to introduce this a little bit more. So this is the West Somerset Railway. This is my favourite heritage line in the UK. It's also the longest in the UK, and I think that's part of the reason why it's my favourite. It's also one that I went to a few times as a kid as well, so that's the main reason why. This is Minehead Station. I really should have done a tour actually before I got in. My issue with doing the nightclub promotion missions is like you said, it's very repetitive for not much reward.
To get the loco started, set the battery isolation switch to the closed position.
What are you making me work for?
To activate the control desk, set the master key into the on position.
I'm also concerned about the network connection, because it does cut out a lot. Or was it engine only? There we go.
The locomotive is now ready to be started. Push the engine start button on the control desk.
You can't request any songs because A, they won't play, and B, I think it's a maximum of 10. If you want to check how many M4J credits you have, click on the M4J logo on the screen in the bottom right corner. Okay. Here we go, Class 47.
To release the air pressure holding the wheels, set the driver's brake to the running position.
Driver's brake. Running. Ah, that'll be why then. Yeah, the app doesn't work. So yeah, this is Minehead. This is one end of the line. Whoops.
The locomotive running, to get going, set the reverser to the forward position.
The other end of the line is Bishop's Lydiard, which is approximately 21 miles in that direction, and in fact it does now go on further to Norton Fitzwarren. Oh, the camera won't let me zoom along. I was going to show you there's a Butlins over there. Can I go up anymore? No? Maybe you can see it through the trees? Yeah, over there is the pavilion of Minehead Butlins, which I have also been to, and it's very nice. I can vouch for it. What am I doing? Setting the reverser to forward.
To make others aware that this loco is operational,
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
the parking brake handle to release it. Finally, to get going, set the throttle to at least 20%.
Throttle. Well, it's just on or off. Very helpful. Yeah, I have no idea how the Twitch app works because I tried to use the desktop, the dashboard on the app earlier to queue up another stream, and it didn't work. So I'm not the best advocate for it. This route would look so good with Steam.
Well done, the loco is on the move. To maintain a specific speed, set the throttle back to the off position.
There we go. So yeah, if I zoom out again.
To bring the
Oh,
locomotive
crap.
to a gentle stop, set the driver
There's Butlins. I suppose I probably should be a professional and focus on driving this train, shouldn't I? We'll stop it around about here, which is about the right place to stop when you're running around your train. Either that, or I think it might actually be the other side of the crossing because it's signal protected. There we go.
Take this basic training and apply it to further operations and you'll do great.
That was all great, but this isn't actually the loco I wanted to drive on this route. I'm getting the achievements left, right and centre here though. Call me an achievement hunter, because I am nailing this. Main menu. In other news, my next scenario will be a southbound run along the East Coast Main Line south from Hitchin. You could just call it the East Coast Main Line. From Hitchin to Canal Tunnel Junction. Yes! Yeah, between Gasworks Tunnel and the other tunnel I always forget the name of. So I want to learn how to drive this beastie, which I always thought was an 08, but it's actually an 09. I was about to say why Hitchin, but yeah, I will say that. Why Hitchin? Because I don't think there are any Thameslink services that run from Hitchin. There are some that run through Hitchin, but don't originate at Hitchin, to my knowledge. Cambridge, Peterborough, Letchworth, Royston and Wellington City tend to be the start points.
This is a Class 09 diesel electric shunter used mainly for freight operations, but known to help with passenger procedures too. Let's take a look at the engine's starting and stopping procedures.
Am I actually the most popular? I take it that's for Train Sim World.
Through the door indicated.
Because I know that Matt Pedalston, whose voice you're actually listening to in the game right now, is streaming Train Simulator, because I was hosting him before this. Let me open the door. These trains are a lot taller than you think.
Set up the marker lights. Turn the main switch on the panel up there to on.
That's one thing that this does. This game does, being able to walk around like this and climbing up ladders like that, is you really do get an appreciation as to how tall these trains are, or how big they are. Because on Train Simulator, you don't really get a scale, because you're always in the cab. This is a whole different... Let me shut the door. What am I supposed to be doing? Turn on the marker lights. There we go.
Power switch is on. Walk around the exterior of the locomotive and turn on all 4 marker lights.
That's why. Oh, you got to do all this by hand. Wowzers. Okay, so Hitchin's where the junction is. I get it.
Great. Climb back into the locomotive and sit down in the driver's seat.
Hang on. I keep changing the setting so that the image doesn't jump up in the way of the text, but every time it doesn't save it for some reason. So we have a new follow. Spaceship 11, thank you very much for the follow. Also, FMMYK followed 7 hours ago, and basically 01 also followed 2 days ago, which it wasn't telling me before that, which is odd. But very much thank you for the follows. That sentence made no sense. I just had to go with it. I started off on the wrong foot and just had to persevere. Sit in the driver's seat.
To start the locomotive, hold the master key in the start position for at least 5 seconds.
I think it started. Sounds like it started. Again, you don't really get a sense of where you sit inside these locomotives either. There we go.
With the locomotive running, set the master key to the on position.
On. Here we go.
The reverser lever determines the direction of travel. Set this into the forward.
We're in forward. Always got to wait for the bloody brake system to charge. Could it not come with a... Like, can you not just plug it in to charge it overnight? Is there anything else I can play with? No, we just have to literally sit and wait for the brake system to charge. And the worst thing is, I can't even leave the seat, but I think the brake gauge is one of... Are any of these needles moving? Doesn't look like it, does it? I know that's the brake pipe pressure there, but that needle doesn't move. I know it is going up. It wasn't in the HST. Interesting. Yeah, that is definitely going up. Oh, this game loves proving me wrong, doesn't it? Actually, I really enjoy this game. I was a bit worried, but I am really enjoying it.
Finally, to get going, set the throttle into position 1 for at least 5 seconds, and then set it to position...
What was it? Position 1 for at least 5 seconds. And then throttle 2. You can hear it revving up. This is a diesel electric, so the diesel engine actually powers a generator which generates electricity.
To maintain a specific speed.
And it's the electricity that then powers the train. Or the locomotive in this case.
To a gentle stop, set the driver's brake to the service 30% position.
30. There we go. I think that's the tutorial.
Apply it to further operations, and you'll do great.
There it is. And you get an absolute butt ton of points for that. I was on like 700 and then it went up to 16,000 something. Wow! They're probably going to nerf this in the future, because that was a massive increase. Main menu. So I'm going to try and see what services there are. So I suppose, yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this one. Continue. Spring clear. Let's do summer clear. Why is it at night? Apparently we're driving at night. Empty stock move to Bishop's Lydiard. So this Norton Fitzwarren is here. And Bishop's Lydiard is there. Is there a zoom? Yeah. So I can show you the entire route. This is Norton Fitzwarren. So we got Bishop's Lydiard, Crocombe Heathfield, Stogumber. I never actually know how to pronounce that one. Willerton, Doniford Holt, Watchet, Washford, Blue Anchor. Oh, hang on. Start again. Norton Fitzwarren, Bishop's Lydiard. That one. Crocombe Heathfield, Stogumber, Willerton. I'm sure that's Doniford. But that's Minehead there. So it'll be Minehead, Dunster, Blue Anchor, Washford, Watchet, which is... I don't know. We're just going to run this. Yeah, Blue Anchor. Blue Anchor. As in an anchor that is blue. I get you. I know what you mean. There seems to be an additional platform there, which was a bit confusing. So yeah, we're Ha. That's my second woman, I think you are. Alright, so now I've got to remember how to do all this stuff. So you forward, because we're running that way. So yeah, Norton Fitzwarren, the actual platform is on this bit, yeah. That's the platform there. So this is Norton Fitzwarren Triangle. It's a relatively new build. This is the Great Western Main Line. Taunton is off in this direction, and this way goes down towards Penzance, Plymouth, places like that. These triangles were designed and built to turn engines on. So basically a train will come here and stop, engine will pull forward down here, and then go along this way to here, and then up this way again, and then reverse back, and then it's facing in the right direction. That's Bishop's Lydiard. And then quite a ways away, I can't even show you on here because there aren't any markers. It's fine. You just have to take my word for it. Let's take the brake off, shall we? Whoops. I've got to learn how to drive this train properly. Something's not right. What's not right? You're released. Reverse is in forward. Master switch is on. Come on, train. Oh, you're the driver's brake. Hang on. Oh, maybe that is it. I was going to say, shouldn't there be a train brake somewhere, but apparently not. Alrighty. We're moving. So I am pulling some carriages, as you can see. 5 of them to be precise. And they're all different colours, and I don't know about you, but that bugs me. So we've got chocolate and cream, which is what these ones are. And then we've got carmine and cream, or blood and cream, which is what these ones are. Or maroon and cream, I think they've sometimes been called as well, even though they're not actually maroon. I think carmine is their official colour. So this route is only... The route itself is only 21 miles long, but it's 25 mile an hour maximum speed limit all the way along it. So it takes about an hour to go between Bishop's Lydiard and Minehead, depending on how fast the train accelerates and how late they leave braking, that kind of thing. There's the platform over there. It's not actually accessible beyond the railway. So it is literally, train stops here, people get off, and then get back on again, and it runs back. I think they only actually use Norton Fitzwarren Station during special events. They don't use it in normal service. Bishop's Lydiard remains the terminus during those normal service days. So we've gone 125 miles an hour, now we're just going 5. In a second we will be able to go 25, which is a bit more exciting. There's something quite serene and calm about being able to go at a slower speed. I think the maximum speed of these locomotives is only something like 15 miles an hour anyway. They are shunters, they're designed to be used in freight yards, and that's about it. So there's nothing too special about them. That's me, by the way. You can design your avatar in this game, so that's what mine looks like. I'm sure there's a way of customizing him a little bit more, like changing hair colour and stuff, but I have no idea how to do it. And there's lovely wheel squeak as the flanges go around the corner. Yeah, it might be 20. It might be 20. They're mainly used in freight yards. They're also used at traction maintenance depots. They are mostly used on heritage railways because sometimes to get a steam locomotive started up you have to drag it to the coal heap and then to the water tower to top it up. Whereas these locomotives, also steam locomotives, take about an hour to 2 hours to fire up every day, whereas these ones fire up immediately. So they're used a lot to drag steam locomotives around preserved railway station yards in order to get them fired up quicker. And to do stock movements, because as I say, they fire up immediately. So they can go collect carriages and stick them in platforms ready to leave, whilst the steam locomotive, which really is the headline event of a preserved railway, gets prepared. It's going to be one of these ones where throttle 2 is just too much and throttle 1 isn't enough. So it's kind of deviating between the two. Going up a 0.5% grade, which really isn't that much at all. According to Wiki, Class 08 has a maximum speed of 15 to 20, Class 09 has a maximum speed. Okay, that makes sense actually, because the Class 09 was designed as a more powerful, faster version of the 08, so yeah. You see that a lot in railways. I call them sequel trains, because there's always, like, the 166s are a slightly faster version of the 165s. I think they have one less carriage as well. The 165 is a 3-car and the 166 is a 2-car. And it's the same with sprinters. There's a sprinter, super sprinter and express sprinter, which are all slightly faster versions of the predecessor. Come on, we must hit the 25 soon. Where's the post? Yeah, we've hit it. Let's go! Let's go effing mental. Feel the speed. So this 2 miles is going to feel like agony now. 7 minutes to do 2 miles. Imagine that. Imagine that driving. So slow. Yeah, I have Transport Fever. The reason I don't play it on the channel is because I find it personally very, very difficult to get started. Because I like to build big from the get-go. And there are money cheats, and you can turn off money and things like that in the game. But I don't. It's one of these things. I don't like turning off money. I just like to make money as fast as possible. But that is a very, very good example, yeah, because you can go first person as well. I'm not sure if they've. There was supposed to be an update where they made tunnels better, so you weren't just travelling through the void whilst you were underground. I think they've introduced that now, or there's mods that have introduced it at least. But yeah, I own the game. I've been tempted in the past. My problem now is there's so many games that I would like to play and so little time to do it in. Even my schedule at the moment, it's very difficult to deviate from because of time management. People don't realise that. Like, I say this a lot. OpenTTD, it took me on average 12 hours to make a video from initial planning to uploading. And that includes things like planning it all out, doing the research, creating the conversation topics, and then actually recording the video itself if it's an hour-long video. And then sometimes editing it. If it's a time-lapse, it takes up to an hour to edit, adding all the music and the speeding up footage, that kind of thing. If it's a simple episode, it's a plug and play, as I like to call it, because I literally just put the video file, put the audio file, put the outro, create the chroma key effect, and then start rendering. And then that's the bit that takes the longest out of the process. Like I say, if it's a 1 hour video, it takes 3 hours to render. And my PC is basically off limits for those 3 hours. It makes me want to get a second PC almost, so I could just go like record on this one, edit on this one, and render on that one, and then bring it back to the first one to upload. Because uploading's easy. It takes a long time sometimes on YouTube if they're having a slow day, but it's a very easy process. That's interesting. I'll have to have a look at that mod. I have to say, Colonel Failure, I used to watch, and then he became one of the YouTubers that I just got so irritated by, because he doesn't play the game badly, but he doesn't play the game well either. It's very frustrating. I don't like that. That's why I started playing OpenTTD, because there was no one making realistic networks. I was even if I come back and do it now, I will be the only YouTuber to make realistic networks on OpenTTD. And it's so frustrating. It's such a good tool for creating that, and no one's using it properly. You got people like the Yogscast who just dick around on OpenTTD for a couple of hours. They'll crash a bus or they'll crash a train, and they'll go, "Huh, that was funny," and then they don't take it seriously as a game, and that really winds me up. Because if you play the game properly, like I was starting to when the series ended, it's actually a very useful tool for designing and building networks. The only member of the Sprinter family that is permitted for a service speed of more than 75 miles per hour is the 158 or 159 Express Sprinter. Yes. No. Yes. I thought the 153 could as well. Let's see. Oh, you said more than. My bad. You said more than. I was about to say the 153 can go 75, but that's not more than 75. Again, I concede. You win the point. Yes. Fair enough. I'll just be sitting here quietly in the corner. But yeah, I followed Colonel Failure for about a year and a half, something like that. And then I just couldn't watch his videos anymore, because the other thing he would do, which wound me up as well, is Transport Fever. Well, Train Fever is what I watched him on, to be honest. Actually, I think I might have watched him do Transport Fever, thinking about it. But he would build a line with 4 stations, all in a row, and then he'd have a service that goes between the first station and the second, and then one that goes between the second and the third, and one that goes between the third and the fourth. And I'm just sitting there going, just do one that stops at all the stations. Or he'll do a bus route that doesn't quite circle the city properly, it just goes between 2 linear points. Oh, that's so annoying when I see people do that. I used to watch Quill18 play Railroad Tycoon as well, and he used to do that. He would just do little, like, leapfrogs services. So he'll build a line with 5 stations, and he'll do 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. And I'm just sitting there going, do one from 1 to 5 for Christ's sake. It's so frustrating. People are, I genuinely sit there and treat it as if they're abusing the game. I just go, you're not doing it properly. And yet when people comment on my videos saying like that, I don't like it. I'm a massive hypocrite when it comes to things. Although I don't comment, to be fair. I don't criticize people openly on their videos, because they are fun videos to watch still. Don't get me wrong. These people know their stuff. It just frustrates me sometimes that they don't build things the way I would. That's all it is. It makes me want to start my own series so I can just go through and say, this is how it's supposed to be done. I've no idea, Josh. If I get on the game, and if I remember, I'll send them through to you. What I would do if I were you now is create a rule set, save it, under whatever name you like, and then set up a save game using that rule set. Because then once I send you the screenshot, you can go into that existing rule set and change it, and it will update your game automatically. That's my advice, so you're not waiting on me. Because I literally cannot guarantee that I will be able to get on the game. I'd like to have an episode out on Monday, but it very much depends. And I feel bad saying that, but, you know, that's the way. The viewing figures for Cities in Motion have dropped drastically, by the way, so episode 20 could well end up being the last. So I haven't actually checked. Let me check very quickly, because the name suggestions, the last I checked, there were 4 suggestions, one of which was mine, and I did say that the level of interaction on that was also paramount to the series continuing. Oh, it's up to 5 now. But again, one of them is mine, so there's only 4 really. Right, we are signalled into platform 1, I think it is, on the right. And I hate saying that. I hate saying episode 20 could be the last, because I've really enjoyed playing the game again. But I did make it clear at the start, I'm not going to waste my time making videos if people aren't going to be bothered to watch them, kind of thing. I can't, for this channel to grow, which it kind of has to do now, because I've graduated from uni, so I have to do either this as a job or get another job. So I've given myself sort of 6 to 12 months to get this going, as well as working on something with Ben and Kurt and a couple of other guys. But I have to start looking at things that have got legs in them. And making a series just to please 4 or 5 people is not how a YouTube channel should develop. And again, it's this. I said it in the Open TTD one as well. People aren't spreading the word anymore like they used to. There's this real sense of entitlement of I'm making the video just for them. So people aren't spreading the word, which means people aren't aware. That's the worst thing. It's not so much people see it and decide, oh, I don't really want to watch that. They don't even know it exists. Because people aren't spreading the word. And there's only so much I can do as a YouTuber. How do I unlock the doors? Let me check that. There's only so much I can do as a YouTuber to spread the word of my channel. There's a sense of laziness and things like that. I should be reading these, shouldn't I? Circuit breaker, couple. Doors, doors, doors. Are these in alphabetical order? Yes, they are. So if I want... Does it come under L, maybe? No. How do I unlock the doors? Am I just being blind and missing it? I don't know how to unlock the doors. Tab. Okay. Aha! Unlock. Right. There you go. They're walking down the platform. And we can actually stand and watch them get on the train. Morning. 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 There you go. He glitched through it a little bit, but that is a massive improvement on Train Simulator. Although they all seem to be getting on at this door now. So I can climb up the stairs here. I can't go through that door because there's nothing beyond it. I think that's a toilet. One of these is a toilet. They might both be toilets. And then I can open the door here. I can walk through the train. I can sit in the seat if I want to. Then I can sprint. Yep. Speedy Gonzales. That's the gangway. So this is the gangway between carriages. That's a toilet. Again, door. And is this the back of the train? Nope. This is the guards compartment. So I can actually put the brakes on here as well, if need be. I need to get it back in the engine to lock the doors. We'll do that in a second. Can open the window if you want. Or come through here. Just stretching my legs. And then this is the far end. Oh! Yeah, there's collectibles in this game. And they are varied depending on route. So this is Bishop's Lydiard. Wouldn't mind having carriages like that when I go from Nottingham to Cambridge. They're nice, aren't they? The best thing is, this train doesn't have it, but most heritage railways these days have first class. Oh! The comfort. So what's this fella? Ah, so there's like scenario hotspots. That's cool. What was I saying? This is Bishop's Lydiard. I don't know how far I can actually walk here, but this is platform... Oh, this is platform 2. Platform 1 is over there. So, I don't think I can go in any of this stuff. But this is the cafe is here. You go in the door here. Cafe on the left, gift shop on the right. Obviously they sell Thomas the Tank Engine merchandise. And then a little bit further down here, that's a waiting room, also doubles as a toilet. Sure. So if I give up controlling the train, I think it drives itself. Or it doesn't drive itself, the AI takes over. It certainly sounds like it's trying to go. That's what I love about this game, is I could stand here, that train could go off up towards Minehead, and another one could come in, and I could hop on that train instead. That's what is so cool. So cool being able to do that. My favourite thing is over there at Bishop's Lydiard. And again, I'm sounding like a complete nerd doing this. What's this? To the beach. Across the line here. Always look both ways. I didn't do the safety properly. Someone will tell me off for that, I'm sure. It's a shame you can't interact with any of these. But in there, on the first floor, is a model railway. On the ground floor, they've got a museum. And then there's some other stuff over here, including this little shed. And it's basically it. But because I'm the train driver, I can actually walk on the track if I so wish as well. Now somewhere, perhaps here. That doesn't sound very healthy, does it? I'm sure that... Is it vibrating? It is rather, isn't it? And yeah, I think the train's broken. So we'll quit out of this for now. How long have I been streaming for? An hour and a half. So I think we could do one more scenario before we end for the night. We'll switch route again. Let's go back to the Great Western Express. And we will do... This is the one. You start on foot. So we'll do summer again. Summer clear. And we'll start at Reading this time. Since we never actually saw Reading last time out. We'll start at Reading this time. And basically we're going to just hop on a train. Not necessarily to drive it, but just to ride along and enjoy the scenery. Which technically means we're not driving a scenario, but yeah. It's one of the features of the game, so I might as well show it off. Nope, this is PC. First of all, welcome to the stream. You'll have to tell me how to pronounce your name. But welcome to the stream. I'm on the wrong time of day, really. 2300 hours is not the best time of day. No worries, no worries. Feel free to ask questions. I'll call you T. Okay. Welcome to the stream, T. Spawn walking. Is there a clock somewhere? Environment settings. Yeah, it's at night. Don't want it to be at night, I want it to be at day. Let's just try. Oh, there, time of day. Time of day. So let's go for... around mid... oh god. Around midday. Go on, T, what's your train sim opinion? I've offered mine. A couple of other people have offered theirs. So, I'm very interested in hearing all kinds of feedback. I have a feeling from you saying that it's not necessarily positive. It's awful. Go on, elaborate. Okay. Where's that train going? I don't know if the departure boards actually update or not. That's the answer to that question. So I have no idea if this is heading towards... I think it is, because I think this side... Yeah, I think that one's heading away from London. This one's heading towards London. So let's hop on board this train, shall we? I don't actually know what time it departs. I wish there was a way you could check. The routes are old routes. Yeah, I think they needed to sort of start with a bang a little bit more and put some better routes in from the start. Because CSX, in particular, was not the best route to announce your game. Like, hey, our game's really cool. Play this really, really, really mundane route. I totally get what you mean there. I think this was a good, strong follow-up, but I think they should have done this one first. GWR first, and then gone around the world. Nothing new, awful FPS, even with a 1080 Ti. I don't think the Brighton Mainline would save this game though, Josh. People all look lifeless. We should go check that. I don't actually know if this train's going to leave by itself or not, because if I sit in the driver's seat... Alright, it starts at 12:03, so we've got a couple of minutes. Just hop on board. Door? Ah, it's automatic. I mean, they're not completely lifeless. This is first class as well, isn't it? Oh, I'm tempted. I'm very tempted. So very tempted. I have a feeling all the doors are closing because the train is about to leave. So we'll sit in the second man's seat for this. Station announcements are non-existent. Were they in Train Simulator though? Okay, find me a mobile. Or a paper or glass. Okay. 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 I get what you mean. I think that the difference between this game and Train Simulator though is Train Simulator they could add new routes and each new route would have updates. Like graphical, well not graphical, but you know what I mean, like more scenery, things like that. Whereas this game, they could make something new for this route, click a button and it gets added to everyone's games overnight. So it's always going to be updated and it's always going to be improved. I know they've actually done some work improving some of the engine sounds for diesel locomotives, which they're going to roll out across the whole game. Yep. Yep, you buy the base game and then you buy the DLC on top. Alright, so there is an AI driving the train. It's not me. I am not driving this train. There should be someone sat there, and there isn't, which is not good. Again, I'll give you that. I'm going to play devil's advocate, because I agree with you. I agree with you a lot. This game could be so much better. Dovetail tend to, they kind of make something and then they start making something else and they don't really focus on what's wrong with the first thing, which is a very frustrating feature. That train should not be in that platform. Yeah, the game's crap. No, I'm joking. It's got room for improvement and I feel like over time it will be improved. That's my opinion. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Some of that might be graphical limitations though, T. Something you got to bear in mind. I mean, this is 30-40 miles of route. And okay, when you're in an HST going 125 miles an hour, you don't really get to see a lot of it. But say it expands out a mile each side as you go along. So it's approximately 40 by 2, so it's 80 square miles. You compare that to some other games that are out there, the world size is about the same. But it might not be the engine, it might be how they've utilised it. Because they can't just make a game that works great on everyone... they can't just make a game that works great on really high-end PCs. They have to make it for people who've got laptops or old version graphics cards. I'm sorry, Josh, I'm going to break your heart here, buddy, but the Brighton Mainline is not that good. If you want to talk about boring, the Brighton Mainline is right up there. It's my personal opinion, but I just don't see the appeal of the Brighton Mainline. There's no operational interest for me. There's a lot of trains, but there's not really, like, interesting trains. Like I say, I'll play devil's advocate. Doesn't necessarily mean that I support the game, but I'm not going to call it crap. Because it's got a lot of potential still. Not so much because they're greedy, it's more they've got to finance it, you know? Like you say, it's such a niche market. It's not like a GTA where they're going to sell 100 million units in a weekend and make $6 billion or whatever it was. They're only going to sell to, you know, 20, 30,000 people. So they need to make as much money off those 20, 30,000 people as they can in order to stay functional. Because, you know, they've got bills to pay. They've got other projects that they might be working on. Having, I mean, Ben can vouch for me on this as well. Having looked at the other side of game development, I can understand a little bit more where the pricing comes from and how they justify it a little bit better. I'm not saying you're wrong though, T. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think you're right. It's just, you gotta look at it from both sides. There's many other games I could point at and say they're a rip-off. They're not forcing people to pay it. I'll tell you what, Ben, we could do that. Not to give too much away on the stream right now, but we could do that. A bit like Telltale, you buy each episode separately. So each chapter of our game could be a separate DLC. That's exactly it, Josh. You can't buy something and then complain about how expensive it is, because ultimately you've still bought it. They've charged a price that they know people will pay. It's a bit hypocritical to pay it and then go, but they charge too much. Because ultimately no one made the decision other than yourself. If you've got over $2,000 in DLC, then that's your fault. I've bought a lot of steam locomotives and preserved railway type locomotives. And I've basically decided on not buying much more of it. Because of that. And that's it. Like, I don't want to buy any more, therefore I'm not going to buy any more. No one's going to put a gun to my head and say, you've got to buy all the DLC for this game. You get what I mean? It's just one of these things. You can't buy something and then complain about how much it is. That doesn't work. Because all it does is make you look like the idiot. No offense. Channel does. Which channel? Do you mean like your viewers gift the game to you? Hold up, Josh. Because that's something that my viewers have done for me in the past. So I can't criticise that. I'm out at this point. Alright, hang on. Everyone just calm down for a second. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I agree with certain aspects of it, and I disagree. And that's what's important here, is we all have our own version of our opinion. Some will match and some won't. If we respect each other's opinions, we'll all be much happier. If we're just going to sit and bicker about it all, though, then we're not going to solve anything. Because tit for tat here is not going to make the game better tomorrow, is it? Ultimately, if we all have a problem with the game, which many of us do, and it's the same problem, lack of detail, graphics aren't great, lack of interest, take it up with Dovetail, put it in a ticket, or send them feedback, send them an email, whatever it might be, and who knows, they might actually get on and fix it. I can't guarantee it. Personally, I don't think that that's their priority right now. I think they are working on other things, and you always have to understand that as well, is with a game developer, there are 1,000,001 things going on in the background that we never get to see. But TS18's flawed as well. If we want to go into that, the AI on TS18 is dumber than... You know, I can't even think of an analogy to explain how stupid it is. It's like a monkey with a pencil. So I don't... Personally, I don't care about graphical quality. I think people that do care about graphical quality are focusing their attention on the wrong aspects of the game. Like, I used to be subbed to a guy on YouTube, and every single time he started a new series, he'd spend the first 20 minutes of the first video going on about how it's in 4K, all this stuff, and he was making videos at a time when 4K on YouTube didn't exist, so I couldn't give a stuff what quality he was playing on. So long as I can just about make out what's going on the screen, I'm fine. You know, Minecraft, I love playing Minecraft even in bad FPS because it's a fun game. OpenTTD has some of the worst graphics I've ever seen in a video game, but I absolutely love it because what it lacks in graphical quality it makes up for in playable quality. If you're just looking at the graphics and if you're just looking at the FPS, then you are just wrong, in my opinion. Just wrong. Like the fact that I can just do this, I can do this, I can jump outside the train. Yeah, the wheels look a little bit funny from here because the anti-aliasing is turned on, but you know, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, the whole game experience is ruined because the wheels are a bit blurry. Likewise, I don't even know what my FPS counter is at the moment, and I don't care. The fact is, I can sit here and do that, and that to me, in my mind's eye, using my imagination, looks like a real train. Looks like a real railway. Looks like a real sky. Looks like a real warehouse. That's the whole point of this game. It's a simulator. It's not it's not VR, it's not AR. We're not in the Matrix. It's supposed to be a simulator. It's meant to simulate, not replicate. You know? It's not called Train Replicator. So yeah, personally, like I said, I don't want to bicker, and I've already broken that rule, by the way. But people who bang on about graphical quality, as long as it's playable, who cares? Who cares about FPS? There are so many other things in the world that we could be worrying about right now. And we're all sitting here talking about the FPS and graphics of a train game. No wonder Brexit's happening. Jesus. The other thing I hate is people who leave this chat before they get the argument finished. Yeah, you're right. There's a degree of complacency going on as well. It's the same with Flight Simulator. Dovetail have picked up what was Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they're releasing new content for it. But there's also things like X-Plane, and there's another flight sim as well, which I can't remember the name of right now. So because there's competition, they're having to up their game. Whereas Train Sim, you're right, it's one of a kind. The closest competitor was Trains, with a Z. And again, I own that game. The Kickstarter one that they made, A New Era, I bought that game. It was terrible, but I bought it because I wanted to support what they were doing. And there's stuff in that game which I absolutely love, which you can't do in Train Sim, and I'm willing to take the graphical hit in order to be able to do those things. I mean, you watch my old Cities in Motion videos, and you watch my old OpenTTD videos, the game is almost travelling like a slideshow, and yet I'm still playing it because it's still enjoyable. And there's actually, to be honest guys, there's no point in us continuing this discussion because the guy's left. Because people disagreed with him, instead of respecting their opinions, he just quit. I've had someone do that before. When I was talking about Space Engineers in a stream once, and I was talking about how it's broken and how it needs fixing, and that name looked familiar. I'm wondering if it's the same guy. Because he was adamant that the game worked absolutely perfectly for him, and would not believe that it could be broken for anybody else, despite me and about 6 or 7 other YouTubers all having videos in which they talk about it. He would not have it, and eventually he just got... He basically turned into a 9-year-old and left. It's sad, really. So yeah, this will get repeated, this video, over and over again, and people will hear me berating someone for talking about graphical quality, but there are so many more important things in the world than FPS and screen resolution, for God's sake. Anyone who talks about 4K, oh, I just want to stick a boot in their face. Particularly, like I said, this guy who I used to be sub to, I actually unsubscribed from him because he would bang on about 4K. Like, no one cares. I'm watching it on my laptop. My laptop doesn't have 4K. I don't care that you're watching it in 4K. Half the time my laptop doesn't even have 1080. The worst thing about the Space Engineers one was because I was talking about rotors and pistons not working properly, and the proof was right in front of me on the screen as I was talking. Like, literally, I had a drilling rig built on a piston, suspended off a piston, and it was just bouncing up and down, and the piston head was glitching in and out and all kinds of things. And it ended up, the argument ended by me pointing my character's viewpoint at the piston and saying, so this doesn't look broken to you. And then that's when he came back with, well, it's not broken on my game. And I was sort of like, well, that's alright then. Let's buy this guy a beer because the game works for him. Doesn't work for anyone else, but it works for him. Yeah, these are people that spend $6,000 on a gaming PC and then wonder why their house has been repossessed. I don't, like, even if his viewers... It sounds like he might have a popular channel, to be fair. Maybe I should have cozied up to him. But if he's got viewers that are spending £2,000 on DLC for him, he should get done for fraud, surely. The game doesn't even have £2,000 worth of DLC, does it? Train Sim. Unless he's making his viewers buy the DLC for him and there isn't a sale on. So I'm pretty sure when the Steam sales are on, you can get everything for like 20 quid. T for twat. I might rerun this stream later this week. Just for that. So I'm still not driving the train, by the way. I can get up and I can walk around. I like this. I actually like streams where I can just sit and talk to people as well. There's no rules that say you have to be playing a game whilst streaming. Not anymore anyway, they used to be. We're technically in-game. Yeah, that's what I love about this game. I actually don't think this route is all that boring either. I like the fact that you can actually watch people walk in and out of the train, whereas on Train Simulator, which is apparently the gift from the gods, they teleport in and out of the carriages. Whereas on here, you actually see them walk in. I think they do teleport from the aisle to the seat, but you can watch them walk into the carriage and down the aisle towards their seat. And you can't do that in any other train game. In fact, like, you know, it's a bit like when space engineers made it so you can walk around on ships whilst they're flying. This train's doing 100 and... Where's the speedo? Yeah, 105 miles an hour, and I'm just walking around the cab like no one's business. It's a shame I can't open the door. I know on CSX you can actually get out of the train whilst it's moving. Train Sim DLC currently amounts to £5,150.80. I love the £80 bit. That's all the 95s and 45s added together, isn't it? That's exactly it, Josh. Like, when I was a kid, and even now to an extent, I'm an advocate for model railways. I don't go to Hornby and buy every single train they've ever made. I just buy the ones that I want to play around with. That being said, I haven't bought anything model railway related in about 15 years. They're all gifts. That is a con, though. I would never... I feel bad now when people buy me games. Mainly because I feel guilty that I'm not necessarily going to have the time to play it. That's so dumb. You're not supposed to own everything. You actually have a inferiority complex if you insist on buying all the DLC. And you can't justify it by saying, I'm a collector, I must have everything. Because that's a sign of a serious mental disorder. And yes, I'm tearing this guy a new one now because he's pissed me off. You don't go in someone else's stream and start berating their viewers for something just because you don't agree with them. That's not on. I wouldn't go into his stream and say that. Crossed a line, buddy. 5 miles from Paddington. Kurt can tell you firsthand. If I disagree with someone and if I think they've stepped a line, I will tear into them. I've been known to do that at uni. Particularly in my second year. I sort of gave a speech to the entire group about how they were failing. I can't talk, I'm being volatile now. I'd love to have his viewership, but I can't imagine, particularly if he's playing... Like, he must get sent keys from Dovetail every now and then. So he's affecting his business by criticising them, because they're not going to give him free stuff if he's just going to say this is shit. Alright, we are approaching Old Oak Common. This is where the FPS tanks. Watch as it goes from 30 down to 29. Oh! Ugh! Ugh! Look! It's slightly blurry because we're moving at speed and that's what happens. God forbid. Can you imagine if he starts criticising the sound and we have to explain to him what the Doppler effect is? Oh, he's a squirrel wannabe. Can you check if he's part of a group called the Nut House? I'm a fan of Squirrel, by the way. I'm not criticising him at all. But there are a lot of wannabes. He was the first, really, to do Euro Truck, Flight Sim, Train Sim. I have to give him a roasting bag. Yeah, get the salt ready, because I'm about to give him a roasting. Planet Coaster. I bet he hasn't criticised the vintage pack for Planet Coaster. Squirrel is a great streamer. He really has created this genre now of popular simulation games. Because he took a game at the time that was relatively unknown, outside the inner circle, as it were, and you know, the everyman now knows what Euro Truck is because of him. I now know what Euro Truck is because of him. Turn the light off. Oh, it was off. This is the boring bit now, because the AI is going to slow down really fast to the line speed, whereas I'd be bombing through here at like 90 still. How fast are we going now? 40. So we're around the Royal Oak area of London now. I'd like to meet him, actually, Squirrel. I'd like to meet him. I don't watch him as much as I used to either, because, I mean, I kind of grew out of Euro Truck a little bit. But I still think it's great that he does that. Actually, 7 Days to Die. I got into 7 Days to Die because of Squirrel. And that was a very popular game that I streamed for a long time. It's sad. It's sad, because I'm sure he's a nice guy, really. But when you're opinionated like that and you just don't listen to other people's opinions when the blinkers are on, it's very hard to be rational with someone like that. But you know, I do want to connect with other streamers. It's one of those things. Oh, climate control. Actually, how do I know what's hot and what's cold? Like, there's no indication. Let's just turn that on. I wish I could turn mine on, but you wouldn't be able to hear me. Crossrail works. See, that's a clever detail. Is there a crouch button? That there is the site of the Royal Oak portal of Crossrail. So that's where it leaves the Great Western Main Line and heads underground to the underground platforms at Paddington. That's a good bit of detail. You don't get something like that in Train Simulator, but you do in this. It's good. It's clever. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I wouldn't let him in my stream again, but I'm not going to go and chase him down. I think I know who he is. I think I've seen him somewhere. Either watched his stream or something like that. But yeah, definitely. That's London Underground there as well on the left-hand side. So that's Royal Oak Station, I think it was. Hang on, let's go find out. Yeah, Royal Oak. So we are very close now to Paddington, where this service terminates. Change for London Underground. Yes, let's not offend everyone, shall we? We'll keep the national stereotypes out of this. Oh, come on, door. I know the train's still moving, but be a lad. Alright, I'm on the wrong side. Come on, door. That's cool, though. I've actually enjoyed just sitting and watching the AI drive the train itself. It's what I like. Of course, at some point I will drive the journey for real. Me drive, not for real. That's not what I meant. But actually drive this route in-game for real. But yeah, I've enjoyed just letting the AI do it. here we are at one of Brunel's masterpieces. I tell you what, I don't let people talk smack about games I play, but if anyone talks smack about Brunel, I'll get them in a bloody headlock. Oh, I saw a blind control. Now, how is that a thing? Safety? Come on now. I actually get points just for sitting and letting the train drive itself. How cool is that? And now, if we walk down the train, we'll be able to see people get on and off. Or, we could do the reverse journey, which we're not going to do. We could do the reverse journey in first class. Would I consider doing a City Skylines stream? If I could get the game working and stable, then yeah. It'll be periodically rather than weekly, I would say. Because I have a very love-hate relationship with Skylines. When it works, I absolutely adore it. But I think city building isn't really my specialty. Creating transport networks within existing cities is my specialty. So what I could do on a stream like that... Actually, I'll do a tour of Paddington in just a second. What I could do on a stream like that is find a city that someone else has built and then just add a transport infrastructure to it. Alright, he's not part of the nut house then. Look, I mean, little details like this I think are quite cool. Oh. I think that's quite cool. Little signs, that kind of thing. Oh, there you go. That's something about the Licky Incline I just saw then. No, I have absolutely no idea where I saw Licky Incline. But yeah, this is platform 1. This is where the Riviera, the night Riviera leaves from. Every night, going down to Penzance. This is good detail though, look. Shouldn't really be down here, but... Can I even climb back up? Whoops. Space doesn't jump. Does anybody know how to jump on this game? Alright, bear with. Please don't let there be a train coming in on platform 1. Actually, I know what I could do. You just know on his next stream he's going to go... So I went into a stream the other night. And he's then, you know, everyone's just going to think I'm a dick. Oh dear. But hey, even if they come in here just to call me a dick, at least I get the views. That is a station announcement. You lying bastard. That is a station announcement I just heard then. He said there weren't any. That's slanderous. There is a bear at the station, actually. I've got to try and remember. It's whether they've modelled it, actually. Whether or not they've modelled it. But I'm pretty sure platform 1 is where Paddington is. In real life, they actually have a statue of Paddington Bear. It doesn't look like they've got it on here. But again, I'm not going to say it's a terrible game just because they haven't put a statue of Paddington. There's a lot of detail here. It feels real. That's what I love about this. It feels like it's real. Try doing this in real life. You get your ass kicked out of there. Very quick. Oh crap. Oh crap. Well, that sucks. I bet I can't get back up here now either. For Christ's sake. Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. Oh, these steps. Another nice little detail. You know, I could stand here, in-game, for hours and just watch trains arrive and leave. It's really cool. That's it. That is it. Like, I don't want a reputation for being a douche, because I'm not a douche. Or at least I hope I'm not a douche. But I'm also not going to let someone just talk like that. That's just me. That's what I do. And if people want to argue about it, bring it on. You know, a ticket machine? Why there would be... I suppose... Well, no, there are barriers. Why would there be a ticket machine on the platform? That's not the game, by the way. That's real life. There would be a ticket machine there, and I don't know why. But yeah, everything you see before you, minus the wires and the electric lights, was designed by Brunel. He was an absolute genius. Including these in the roof here. These gaps in the arches. There used to be cranes that were built here that would run on rails. So when a train came in and stopped, the crane would lift up the locomotive, put it onto the next track so it could reverse clear of the carriages. How cool is that? Yeah, this is getting towards the end of the stream now. I'd like to have more of a following. It gets a bit disheartening at times. Like when I upload Cities in Motion videos at the moment, I look back at the original series, 16,000 views on the first episode, and I'm not expecting that on the current series because, you know, that 16,000, that is accumulated over 5 years. But it does get a bit disheartening when I upload a video and I check it the next day and it's only on like 40. That's a lot lower than I want. Oh, I can't go up there. So like I said, on that series, I'll have to review it, but episode 20 is it's going to be a turning point one way or another. Don't do fake subs, because you can get in trouble for that. Oh, going to get buzzed by the underground. How do I get... Actually, that was something I was going to talk about. I'll talk about that quickly, and then I'll end. So, Football Manager... There's a group that have started called FM Council. And I think they should be banned for what they're doing. Because they're basically saying, we can make your channel better. And it's one of these... They call it freemium. They offer a freemium service, which apparently, you know, it's an amalgamation of free and premium, which you can't have, because premium is literally the opposite of free. But they brag saying, you know, we can get your channel from 40 subs to 300 subs. And people are paying money to get advice from these people. And they come up with stupid advice like, you should only have one series running at a time on your channel. Because if people only subscribe to you to watch that series, they'll ignore all the other videos anyway. And I just think, well, yeah, like I watch BBC for QI and programs like that. I don't watch it for Homes Under the Hammer. So I'm not going to write a letter to the BBC saying you should only have one series at a time because I don't watch all the others. It's stupid. But there's a rumour going around. I'm not saying this is true or not because I don't know personally. But there's a rumour going around that they're buying bots to subscribe to people's channels to make their sub count go through the roof. And there's one guy that went from like 49 to 800 subs in a week. And his account's been suspended because it turned out they were all bots. That kind of thing. It's really shady and... not very smart. And they keep posting these Twitter posts acting like they're a real business, like they're Microsoft and they're coming up with the new operating system. But it's not. It's just wrong. I do watch QI. I've been to see it recording live twice. I'm trying to remember. It was the Love episode of Series L I went to see, and Odds and Ends, I think it was, Series O. The first one, it was Tony Hawk, Aisling B and Josh Widdicombe who were on it, and the second time it was Ramesh Ranganathan, Lisa Tarbuck and Matt Lucas, which personally I preferred the first lineup. I'd have liked to have, both times actually, we couldn't get in the first time, so we got priority tickets for the second time, and the first time we missed Jack Whitehall and Jimmy Carr, and the second time we missed... oh god, I think it was Jimmy Carr again. In fact, no, I think it was Jack Whitehall again. They're the ones who I really want to see on it. But yeah, I was there. I can actually hear me laughing. The Love episode, I was in the front row. When the camera pans out, you've got the two sets of stairs. I was first in from the stairs on the middle block on the right hand side. On the front row, literally. I could have run up and punched Stephen Fry if I wanted to, but I'd never do that because he's an absolute legend. I was gutted when he left, but Sandy Toxvig is doing an amazing job, so I think everyone won in that scenario, to be honest. Alright then guys, 2 hours, 18 minutes. I think it's time to wrap up. I need to stop this stream before that onslaught of tease viewers come in. I can hear them coming. Can you hear the war drums? Series 12, Episode 8. Yep, if you say so. Thank you guys for coming in and watching tonight. It's been awesome. We've had a rant, we've had a chat, we've watched some trains, we've admired the graphical genius. This game is lovely to look at, by the way. I sold it as that before we started, and I will sell it as that when we leave. I don't care about FPS. The train could go past at 1 FPS and I would still admire the view because this scenery is gorgeous. The game is gorgeous. The way that the light reflects off the vinyl on the side of the train is gorgeous. Everything about this is fantastic. I love this game. You probably can actually, because there's a bit where they had an expert talking about Valentine's cards. And there's a bit where the camera first sort of pans out and then it cuts to a close-up of that expert. And I think it's when it pans out you can see me sitting on the front row. It's whether you know what I look like or not, that's the thing. But yeah, wrap up the stream. Wrap up the stream, Mark. Wrap up the stream. So there will be a rerun airing after this. I will pick a random one. I've basically uploaded a whole host of videos to my Twitch channel now to run during the night. And this will be a regular thing. The during the day ones might not be, but during the night. That's another station announcement. Bloody hell. Yeah, I will repeat streams through the night. Things like the Audience Decides and the really long Space Engineers streams. Because I think it's good to have the channel active at all hours of day, I suppose. So even during the day, I might repeat last week's stream during the day, and then it will get uploaded to the YouTube channel at 8 PM, and then I'll start streaming at 8 PM as well. Just little things like that to try and reinvigorate the channel a little bit, get some more followers. Because actually those Space Engineer streams, I went from 0 to 100 followers in one day. Like, no exaggeration, it was one day. I went from 0 to 100, and now I'm on 152, I think it is. And that's, 3 years later. So I need to do something to get the channel popular again. The real Mark. No, PC. 0 to 100 real quick, indeed. Literally overnight. I was the most watched Space Engineers stream. I ended up making something like 80 to 90 new friends, some of whom I still talk to, most of which, still play the games that we all played together. I kind of want to get the band back together as well. And reunite. But that was so much fun, doing all of those Space Engineers streams. The real Mark, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I'm just about to end the stream though. So I might actually tell you what I'll do tonight. I will rerun this stream immediately after it finishes, if that makes sense. So if you've missed the start or things like that, you can go back and watch it. Josh, I'm aiming that at you because of the whole videos thing at the start. Alright then guys, thank you very much for watching once again, and until next time. Actually, I should do the old follow and subscribe thing, shouldn't I? Follow if you haven't done so already. Thank you to all the new followers. Thank you to the people in the chat as well. Ben, Kurt, Josh, Tom, T, sort of. And yep, if you want to rewatch the stream in just a second, you're more than welcome to do so. Also, go and check out the YouTube channel and follow me on there as well, because this will be uploaded there this time next week, approximately. Yep, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I will see you soon.